Welcome to His and Hers Perspectives.
And also it says right here as well, the fact that Black African, so Black African, Black Americans, Black African Canadians has no standing at law and therefore is not recognized in law, reveals the truth that Black African Americans, African Caribbeans are not entitled to human rights, indigenous rights, or any other kinds of rights. And again, they quoted the Dred Scott decision, which is Scott versus Sanford, 1857, which this case has never been overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court.
Never been overturned. So again, you have to understand that this is all about jurisdiction, right? So they pulled everyone out of classic or natural law jurisdiction and pulled us into an admiralty maritime law jurisdiction. And in that, there are artificial entities and things of that nature. And it's more of a colorable law. And a colorable law is something that appears to be law, something that appears to be true, but isn't necessarily. So what they've done is they've pretty much created definitions and things of that nature, and they've taken over and put an artificial construct over the natural world. And we're pretty much all living in the natural world. Obviously, you can go outside right now, you're going to see trees, you're going to see birds, you're going to see nature, but there's an invisible film that has been pulled over us, an unnatural entity that has been created that is everywhere as well. And that's the jurisdiction that we have all been pulled in, unfortunately.
Yes, most definitely. And this document also further did mention the Roger B. Taney quote. It says the infamous oft-quoted conclusion of the Supreme Court's decision written by Chief Justice Roger B. Taney was that current or former slaves and their descendants had no rights which the white man was bound to respect. Right? This legal decision has become a private and global policy. Those in the legal community will point to the 14th Amendment being the solution to this problem when in fact it is a placebo. The reality of Black has no standing at law is a legal and international fact, deliberately covered by those in the legal community.
I want you to pause right now, stop whatever it is you're doing, and make sure to like the video. Everybody, hit that like button. It's free. It don't cost you nothing.
Yes.
It don't cost you nothing at all.
It don't cost you anything. And even subscribing, it don't cost you anything. And when you subscribe, you want to hit that notification button so that you get notified every single time we drop.
Right, and that's the thing, because obviously throughout history, you've always wondered why there's been so much genocide, so many atrocities. You know, what went on in Darfur. What King Leopold did when he went to the Congo and was chopping off people's arms, and when he killed millions and millions of Africans. You know, there's a reason why the world sits and watches these conflicts and allows these things to happen. You know, there's a reason why, and it's all in these books. And that's one thing that we're not doing. We are not getting to the crux of, you know, the issues. You know, you can pick it and you can protest all you want. You can say, treat me fair, treat me equal, all you want. But if you're still identifying, and if you haven't unlocked, you know, the constructs of your mind to be able to wrap your head around the fact that it's the very system itself. And if you do not learn to operate in the system the right way, if you don't know how to move the right way, you will forever be treated the way you're treated. So, I mean, it's a lot. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It's a lot more to it than this. Obviously, we're trying to, make it digestible for,
Yeah.
for everybody to just get a small understanding as to why we don't like to identify as that.
Mm-hmm. And
But
hopefully to help you guys, awaken something in you for you to look a little bit deeper and try and figure out, wait, what's going on here, so you can pull yourself out of the system, right? You have to know the game that you're playing, because when you don't know that you're playing a game, the game is going to be played on you. You know how they
right,
say you're in a prison, but you don't even realize that you're in a prison. But once you
yeah.
realize you're in a prison and you know how to play the game to get out of prison, then you can become free.
Put it in.
Right?
You can liken it to this, right? Um, Say you were playing a sport, whatever sport is your favorite sport. Say you were playing that sport, but you never knew the rules of that sport. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You
You
never
always
knew the
get beat.
rules. You would always get beat. But once you start to understand the rules and know, you know what, I can do this, I should do that, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can do this. That's when you start to empower yourself. That's when you start to be able to strategize and ensure victory for yourself. So this is what we're doing. It's
Yeah.
a game of chess. So you have to move accordingly. You have to understand these things. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's really important. It's not even one of those things to where it's like, you should do it. I mean, you really have to do it. It's one of those. It's a matter of really our lives. Our future progeny. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on this. We have to get this right.
Most definitely.
And you know what? I wanted to show that one last quote, which was actually, since we're on this topic and we just saw what uh, one of the identifying definitions of what an American was, and the
Mm-hmm.
color that represented that, it was one more person who was very famous that lived a few thousand years ago that
Yeah, pull
I
that
would
up
like
now.
to pull up so we can see
Okay. Let's,
some parallels with that definition.
right. Let's do that.
Let's do it. So for all of you who are aware, and for you guys who do not know, this right here is an excerpt from the Bible, the book
Mhm.
of Revelation.
And it says, for many scholars, Revelation 1:14-15 offers a clue that Jesus's skin was a darker hue and that his hair was woolly in texture. The hairs of his head, it says, were white as white wool, white as snow. His eyes were like a flame of fire. His feet were like burnished bronze, refined as in a furnace.
Right. So
Why was that put in the Bible? If you're appreciating the content and would like to show your support, consider becoming a channel member or sending a super chat, super sticker, super thanks, or alternatively, sending a cash app to # his, hers, perspective.
that's a great question. And another question that would have to follow that is, why are the images today completely different from the description of that historical figure? This is, it's very interesting. And it just shows that everything isn't what it seems. So you have to definitely dig a little bit deeper to figure out the truth of the matter. We're living in a very, very mysterious world, and we inherit a lot of information and just assume it to be true. But you have to do your due diligence. You really have to figure these things out for yourself, because nobody's going to hold your hand and pull you through this. Like, if you inherit a lie, accept a lie, you're going to teach it to your children. Your children's children are going to teach it, so on and so forth. And that's how it goes. And that's how we're in the predicament that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we
But you
definitely
have
have
to
to
want to
go ahead.
seek the truth. You have to definitely want to seek the truth, because as I say, the truth will set you free. Like that saying is so much deeper than just telling the truth. Oh, I'm gonna go tell the truth. Like, yes, I did smack that person because they did this to me. No, it's deeper than that. It's finding the truth, finding out the truth about who you are, so that you can move freely within the world that you live within, this construct. Because nothing, you shouldn't believe everything that
Right.
they tell you. Obviously, there's some things you can say, yeah, that makes sense, but still, even if it makes sense, still do some further research to get to the bottom of it.
Right.
So, we have done so much more research. And again, this is just surface level. We were really trying not to go too far and too deep into certain things, because I know some of you guys, maybe the first time you ever hear anything like this. But this is some of the reasons why we don't identify as Black, because of what we know from our own research. And when we apply it in our real life, we see we get results from it. It's not like we're just saying here, sitting here just saying it, and it's just like, oh, we're just saying it just for the sake of it, to be
Right.
different.
And let me just say this. So for those of you who didn't necessarily grasp that last excerpt that we just read, to put it in layman's terms, Jesus Christ, if he was walking the earth right now, he would be a quote unquote Black man. Ultimately,
Yeah.
that's what that was all about. Obviously, that was before they started calling people of color Black. So they were identifying them as, something similar to what the 1828 Webster's Dictionary described the original Americans, which was a copper-colored Aboriginal, right? So, yeah, he would be considered a Black man today.
Please be sure to engage with the content by leaving a comment, hitting the like button, sharing, and subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And if you would like for us to discuss a particular topic, then go ahead and send us an email at hisandhersperspectives@gmail.com.